appears by ballot. If you recall, one of the initiatives that I'd asked for the chairs to commence earlier this term was to form a community polling ballot, which would accept for some questions that we want to poll the community concerning. Adib Mansour, who unfortunately is not able to be here because of a death in his family, have prepared, working with the chair members, the polling ballot that you have in front of you. If there are any questions you have concerning the polling ballot, or if you have any suggestions or changes that you'd like to discuss, please make sure you email me concerning those. Otherwise, because the chairs have went ahead and blessed this, we're going to work together to proceed in implementing this poll. It will be either late this summer or early part of summer, so I'll talk logistics, but it's something in which you prepare us for the upcoming year as to initiatives to undertake for year 2 of all of your terms. The second item of business is that it was pointed out to me by Mr. Hamburger that the September 2nd meeting, which is currently scheduled, is right before the Labor Day holiday. So the predicted number of attendees would probably, of the council members, would probably be limited. We suggested that we go ahead and move it to the next following meeting, or the next following Wednesday. If I could just have a quick show of hands, how many members would be able to attend, would be able to attend the meeting on September 9th rather than September 2nd? It's still Wednesday, it will be the following week, so the Wednesday after Labor Day. You can just raise them high, because I would like to, so I can just have an understanding. Alright, so unless there's any, are there any objections to us moving the September 2nd meeting to the September 9th date? Seeing none, please note in your calendars that September meeting will be moved to September 9th, 2015. Another item of business is concerning, another item I'd like to discuss in the President's report is the recent passing away of Patrick Stewart. Many of you know who Patrick Stewart is. Patrick is, along with his wife, was one of the original members and inaugural groups of leaders here, the Roosevelt Island Residents Association. I had the privilege of serving with Patrick during my first term on the community board 8. He was on his way out at that point in time. And he actually sat along with me on the Cornell task force dealing with that project. He had recently passed away earlier this week, and it is a great loss for this community. He is a wealth of institutional knowledge and one that, if anything, is always the ever advocate for life here on the island. So, keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers, and if you do get an opportunity to see his wife, then you may do so. I'm just going to finish my remarks because it's the President's report.
Related to this one, Patrick?
I'm sorry?
It's related to this one, so Patrick.
Right, go ahead.
I think the memorial is scheduled for next Saturday here at 16th.
So, if you refer to the locals' own news sources for covering the event for all the memorial services, and if you can attend, please make sure that you do attend his service, because this organization was a lot to him and to his family.
16.
A couple more items, and I won't bore you any further. We can move on and finish tonight's business. Earlier today, we heard Judy talk about, from Roosevelt Island Community Coalition, had spoken about the Cornell partnering with PS 217. Community Board 8, both the Roosevelt Island Committee and the Education Committee will actually be holding a meeting with Cornell and PS 217, hopefully the PTA, on June 8th at 6:30 at PS 217. I strongly encourage all of you to attend that meeting. At that point in time, it will be a formal meeting, so that means that all testimony that any members of the public give, or any questions that are asked, are entered into the public record as part of the city. And that is actually a key time where many individuals will be pressing the Cornell as to the logistics of how they intend to partner with PS 217. If you have any questions concerning the community board meeting, it's very much in its infancy. We literally scheduled it as of today. So if you have any questions or any suggestions, please go ahead and email myself or Larry Parnes, whose email address, who's my co-chair, escapes me, but you can ask for it from me directly, and we will incorporate your comments as part of the hearing that will be held later on. Yes?
Could you repeat the time?
It will be at 6:30, June 8th, at PS 217. And that is Committee Board 8, the Roosevelt Island Committee will be holding a joint meeting with the Education Committee. And lastly, the last item of business, our last item we wish to discuss, as you all know, and we'll be talking about this later, April 25th was a very happy and joyous day for the island. The Cherry Blossom Festival was, by all accounts, a well-attended event. We had an afternoon of celebration of the island and of the original founder. April 25th also was a day in which there was a bit of violence and tragedy on the island. And I've asked the Public Safety Committee to form a meeting with the stakeholders of the island and island residents to discuss both the April 25th incident as well as future safety issues. Now, the whole point of that issue, the whole point of the meeting is one in which I'm sure a lot of discussion will be held, no real solutions will probably be found, but it's a time where at least I think that all the common interests will be able to form, give them a venue for all interested parties to come together around a table and be able to discuss what issues there are and how we can solve them. So please keep your eyes and ears open because I would like to have that as a well-attended event. And I will close by saying, some people have said that the violence that occurred was an isolated incident. I'm just going to argue to you that anytime violence is used on the island that involves a firearm in which others on the island were not part or who are just passersby, that directly affects every single one of us. So hopefully we will take this up as another marquee issue for the island because I think it's pertinent now at this time. I'm sorry, Joyce? We're still formulating the date. Keep your eyes and ears open for it. We'll publicize it heavily for when that will be. And just so you know, we're inviting and making sure the representatives from all of the officials and all the stakeholders, including both Brookfield Properties, Urban America, RIOC, Public Safety, ourselves, the council members, representative of the state senator's offices will all be present. Much like the town hall, I'm sure the town hall will be spoken, but this will be very concentrated on this one issue. So, all right, great. Unless there's any objection, we're going to go ahead and